What's going on YouTube? Earth Power here with CVH.
How's it going, everybody?
And we are back for the finals of another season of Bracket Tournament. Season two's Bracket Tournament. Trying to find the best deck. One of these two decks will be crowned the best deck. Water, Fire, Nature, Tempo versus Light, Fire, Nature, Turbo Burn.
We made it. We went through the whole top 16, top 8, top 4. Y'all just saw the bronze match, Rush Mirror, where Fire Nature claimed third place in season 2. And we've got this
Shoutouts to
is
Expo.
shout outs to Xboom. Thanks for helping us commentate. And we're on to the grand finals where we have, I think, maybe your favorite deck of all time in Water, Fire, Nature, Tempo that has had a
Yeah.
redemption story after season 1's loss in top 16 against the new Mana Burn on the block.
Yeah, absolutely. Tempo got the short end of the stick. We played it up against Phantomac in season one, and a deck that I did not give a lot of credit to up until it started to do very well and started to become a fan favorite. Not only with you guys, but here in my heart as well. Shout outs to Phantomac, rest in peace. Yeah, didn't quite make it out of top 16 this time. But
Well, top 8, but
yeah,
yeah.
no, yeah. Yeah, I guess it did make it to top 8.
Oh, what? Oh, sure.
Sure. It's been a long it's been a long ride, guys. But yeah, my favorite deck, Water Fire Nature Tempo, sleeved up in the Earth Stomp sleeves, was really excited to get into this match. And again, talking about just kind of pre-thoughts of where you and I were at with it coming into this. We knew we were going to do 5 games. We talked about this towards the start of season 2. I know we only mentioned it about a week ago here on the channel, but we knew we were doing 5 games, and we were really hoping this wasn't going to be a blowout. Fire Nature or Tempo was really scared of Fire Nature winning um, the match between Turbo Burn and itself last week. And when Turbo Burn came out of it, I was like, okay, I think Tempo stands a shot here. We never really played the Tempo deck up against Mana Burn decks, if you will. Um, but I think Mana Burn has a lot going for it in this match. You saw it last week when it played against Fire Nature and had its Essence Elf and a Volcano Charger. Those plays are very strong against Tempo. Tempo has Gonta, sure, but the majority of the deck is under 2,000 power, especially with Quixotics, Kook Balloons, um, and then some of the more tempo-y cards like Hulkus and Bronze Arm Tribes. So, Mana Burn's got its little keys to victory here. The one thing again it doesn't have going for it is that it really doesn't have shield triggers. So if Tempo can get off the ground fast, could stand a chance and actually make it through.
Yeah, I don't know if you've mentioned this, by the way, but this is a best of 5 that we're doing for the grand final to celebrate. You probably already
Yes,
mentioned it while I was fixing the
I did.
things on screen, but still.
Yeah, absolutely. So like CVH said, again, best of 5, and we are going into game 1. Tempo wins the die roll, and we're off to the races. And that Arcade de la Serna goes down in mana quick.
It really does. Yep, no discard in this version of Mana Burn. It cuts out the fun, controlly parts of Light, Water, Dark Nature, and it just focuses on ramping and burning. That's the core philosophy there. There's
Yeah,
Reap and Sow, a
you're
card that does both.
yeah, you're deep in the tank here. I think Mana Burn's got to really think about its plays, and you have Essence Elf, but it looks like not a lot to kind of go off of that once you play it. So
Yeah, I
uh,
think I saw Yuliana, though. I mean, those are really nice cards to have in this matchup. Maybe
yeah,
it was a
for
foul
sure.
instead. We'll see in a turn.
Yeah. You get the pig play, which I think you much prefer seeing to Ganta here. If you can find Volcano Charger, uh, you're going to deal with this board quite nicely. And yeah, so here I am, immediately deep in the tank. I can break the shield, sure, but if you have the Volcano Charger, I just lose both creatures. So we're having that conversation now. I think the odds are just always to break the shield and try to keep momentum. And if you have the best play, then them's the breaks.
I think I agree. You gotta play to win, right?
Yeah, yeah. Play before you lose. Win before you lose.
Yeah, we'll definitely
That's
play before you lose. I'm adding game counters to the bottom
uh
because it's gonna be such a long one.
and it's painful.
Yeah, that is
And it's
definitely
painful.
the best follow-up in this matchup to have to Essence Self.
Yeah,
Almost every single time.
absolutely. Yeah, no Gaunt to play. I think I'm gonna end up missing my play here. Part of me wants to play this Pyro in hand just to kind of snipe a shield.
I like it.
Uh,
I'm
but
not
I'm kind of
sure about Why would you not?
It's a good question. Just to kind of keep you off of more cards, but you're already ahead on cards, so um, I think my win here is obviously just to just snipe shields when I can get them for free, and try to set up with some big
Yeah.
bodies here.
I mean, you'd for
You're
sure
very
prefer
clever.
like a Hulkus or something that's sticky, but breaking shields ain't bad. And your last card in hand was, I think, that rebirth or something. So
Yeah, Rebirth and Earth Stomp and Pyro was my hand. So playing the Rebirth down, hoping not to get, mana screwed. I want to hold on to Pyro. Your hand's looking like it has a lot of options.
yeah, I saw, I think, an Essence Elf and a Reap and Sow. I don't have the mana to play both, and I kind of think, given that you just skipped the turn, preventing you from playing a 5-drop, since I know your deck plays 3 Earth Stomp Giants, might be the path. Maybe I just play a Mysterios though and hope you don't have it. Either way, Foul has no targets, so that's. Oh wait, there's a Bronze Arm. That makes things a little bit more more easy to decide.
Yeah. You opt for kind of the creature play setup while you have a free turn. Um if
I do
if
need to ramp too, after all.
yeah, if Fire Nature taught me anything, the only answer you have to this Earth Stomp is APOC.
That's
So
true.
if I can make you waste, I say waste, if I can make you use an APOC on just a singular Earth Stomp, that'll help, especially for going wide later.
Yeah, I think I was hoping that you didn't have Earth Stomp and that it was like either another Rebirth or a Surfer or a Jigalzor or something, or Soul Swap that you wouldn't have played last turn. But at the
Yeah,
very least, I'm ramping pretty hard. I have double the mana. I'm just looking not great on board currently.
yeah. I think you yeah, it's interesting. You have three more cards in hand, but weren't able to play anything else. I'm assuming that means you probably have Fortress and or other cheap removal.
I
So
think I think I know. I think I had another Reap and Sow, like the third Reap and Sow maybe. And since I hit a light mana, I needed another Fire or Nature to
yeah.
double Reap and Sow
Mm,
and take you off of the Fire mana, so you didn't hit me with this Pyrofighter. I
mm.
think that's the case.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's just my play here, right? Like maybe play mana. I top the Surfer, so I'm just playing the Pyro. And the goal here is just to take you down to no shields and hope I can hold on to fire. But
Yep.
Earthstomp says everything's coming back to my hand now. So
Pretty silly that I'm a mana burn deck against a deck with 0 mana. Why bother,
yep.
right?
Right. Yeah. I'm just trying to ride this Earthstomp to victory.
Wow, the
So
autofocus is going absolutely nuts right now on your camera.
yeah. Yeah. Well, I think we had that conversation here of whether or not Pyro breaks first. But
I don't. I like the way it happened. I think probably,
yeah,
but
yeah, for sure.
still,
The double break's probably just fine.
it's like, what's in your
I
hand
show
again, just
yeah,
in case.
yeah, just show you my whole mana. Uh,
Now it's
yeah,
really all
he does.
about Apocalypse Vice or blockers.
Yeah, you just need to stave off first stop for the next
Yeah,
couple of
I
turns if
mean
you don't have
blockers.
APOC. Just try to
Blockers
find
are
it.
great here because your hand's all creatures. So like, if you did want to attack, you're just like killing a blocker and going back to 0 mana. So that's like,
Yeah.
it gives me a lot of time to find the APOC. I still need it eventually, or
Well,
a Bazagazil.
especially since Turbo Burn has the ability to just kind of snipe mana
Oh
with
wait,
Reap and Stow and cards like Fortress Shell. Like
we didn't
you
even talk
should.
about
I.
it, but Soul Swap, right? Soul Swap is the best
Oh
answer here.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, because you and I had to look that up, I think, in this match, is to figure out, yeah, Soul Slot puts it in mana and then it just stays there.
Yeah,
Do as much
no
of the card as you
target.
can. Yeah, it's crazy.
Not a thing that
So
usually comes up, but in mana burn matches and Earthstop matches, you do get to put the card in mana, and if your opponent can't, if there's nothing that your opponent can play off of the Soul Swap, you're just good to go. It's a 3-cost natural snare at that point. I think I see an
yeah,
Apocalypse in my hand now. That's nice.
yeah, yeah. Setting up Belix. Yeah, Belix is gonna get annihilated, but that's fine.
It's fine. You have so many cards in hand.
Yeah, this one, yeah, so I set myself up poorly here. So obviously that attack had to happen. I had to get you down to zero shields, but unfortunately I'm not gonna have a follow-up for the next 2 to 3 to 4 turns.
I'm looking
So,
at Soul Swap on my phone.
yeah.
Yep. Yep, yep,
Yeah,
yep, yep, yep.
we had to read the card and verify. So, um, yeah,
Reading the
so we
card
have that
explains the card.
Yeah, so we had that conversation because I was like, ah, I should just play a card that has to be played, right? When you play Soul Swap. And it was like, oh, it doesn't matter because her stop's gonna punch it back to my hand anyways.
True.
Yeah,
Very
because I
true.
couldn't even yeah, for those of you who are thinking, oh, why didn't you just play Pig and mana? Well, it doesn't quite matter.
Yeah. I mean, if you had drawn a spell, that's one thing. Then you could maybe even play a pig next turn, but it wasn't to be.
Yeah, yeah, you and I definitely spend the next 60 seconds to 2 minutes looking up and trying to figure out exactly how the Soul Swap interaction is supposed to
Yeah,
work.
you can see me consulting the DM wiki, getting pop-up ads. It's important. It's important to know what your outs are in a match like this. And this is like the first time it's come up all bracket tournament because Earth Stomp has usually been answered pretty swiftly in most of these matchups.
Yeah, absolutely. So it turns out if you just wait for it to swing once, Soul Swap is a pretty good answer.
But I don't think I actually have a swap in my hand. Or maybe I do. It's hard to tell. I do. I have a swap. And I'm
Yep,
inexplicably tapping. Okay, there we go. Tapping
the
the correct
correct
amount of
mana.
mana. Reap and sow for just a little bit of ramp. Why not? I guess.
Yeah, that's an effective way to destroy an Earth Stomp.
Yeah.
So finally play a spell in mana. That's nice to see.
Yep. And since I took you off of the Earth Stomp in mana, you don't get to play that pig again.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
now it
So
might
it's a shame I
be
couldn't find a spell that second turn there.
it's Fortress Shell time. And you getting up to 2 so I could get full effect of the shell was a consideration, but at the same time, like, I'm at 0 shields and I really don't want you to be able to play any creature. So shelling for 1 here seems just totally fine.
Yeah, absolutely. Setting yourself up for the 1 to 2 turns. Surfer still is a problem.
Yeah,
You need
especially
to
with you.
find a way to yeah. So you need to find sky swords before it's necessarily safe to go in. So it's really just biding time until we can find sky sword and at least set yourself up to not be lethal off of one shield trigger creature. But
Or,
Bali will do it. Yeah, Bali
yeah,
Bali gets you there.
Ollie's our guy, and Juliana is going to safely just protect me here.
Yep.
Found
I
that
think you and
Ganta.
I have this conversation. Yeah. So Ganta comes down. Um, Still can't because I have a creature on board. If you can answer it this turn, you could basically swing until you see. Uh, well, no, you can't because you gotta destroy mana now too. So yeah, so you're still not completely safe on board, even
Which
if
is
you answer the
fine.
Ganta.
I can wait another
Yeah,
turn.
yeah, trying to goat you into attacking before you should.
Yeah, that's like the first thing you always say in these situations is like, oh, it's probably safe.
The odds are low. Say that much.
Yeah, but I can make the
A
odds
lot of
0.
yeah, yeah,
0%
yeah,
is the best chance for you to win.
yeah.
And next turn,
Spiral.
it is fine to attack because with only one
It's just
shield that you'll actually get to your hand, there's nothing.
yeah.
No holy
I
awe.
don't have there's no King Tsunami win condition. Yeah, and
I don't even replay Baza. Who needs it?
Unlike Spencer Christian when he sees the clear path takes it. So
Yeah.
thank you.
I do
Thank you for
spend an
that.
ample amount of turns making the path clear. But once it's clear, we're going in.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, this is and I guess this was surprising because you and I, had that conversation where I think had I been a betting man, I probably would have said uh tempo in 4. Tempo takes the match maybe 3-1. When Mana Burn takes this game 1, especially with me being on the play, things got interesting to say the least. I very very much can say that I got nervous.
Yeah, I mean, we acknowledged, I think, in the moment that like you had a curve, yeah, but it wasn't a Ganta curve, and then you wound up missing turn 4, I think, with just the
Yeah,
Pyrofighter play. So like there are definitely some bricks. Or and I, more than that, even like it's not like your hand was that bad, but mine was Essence Self Volcano Charger, which is fantastic. So I felt
yeah,
good off of game 1, and I was like, I definitely also felt unfavored. I thought, tempo in 4 probably was the most likely outcome. So winning game 1, I think, was important for my morale because we still had several games to play either way.
yeah, absolutely. I think this is the game where you realize you've Garen shuffled yourself.
Oh yeah,
So,
which for those of you who don't know, it's when half of your cards are upside down. Very annoying. Very, very, very annoying.
Shout
So I'll be
outs to
fixing that.
Darren Williams. He'll never watch this. Yeah.
Nope. Yeah, you do have the Gauntlet this time, and you're on the
Yeah.
play. This
Yeah.
is Earth Power in true form right here.
Yeah. I'm coming for it. If I have Holkus on 3, this will just be everything.
Nah, just Bronze Arm
So
into Earth Stomp. Just give it to me, man. Who needs Hulkus?
Bronze Arm's good. Yeah, Bronze Arm Holkus. Just give me the 3-drop. Give me the consistent 3-drop.
He's got a
Hey,
3
there's some
drop.
good. And it's the one that Essence Elf can't deal with.
Yeah.
Volcano
Well,
Charger's still good here.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know, it still does what you want it to.
Definitely the card I want to see if I have it.
Yep. Hopefully into Sky Sword, which unfortunately looks like it had to be Essence Health mana. See if we can find the other one. We didn't see any Sky Swords last game.
Yeah, I mean there are 3 in this version of the deck, and I think it'll continue to be 3 for the next season too. It's just such an important stabilization tool. It's not
Yeah,
removal, but it
yeah.
is the second best card I could have here.
The match just got a little shaky for me. I don't know if it's a buffering issue for you, but
Oh, it's still looking good on
hoping.
my end. I'll double check
All
quality
right,
though.
good, good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're still
it
looking
just
good.
got better for me too. We ran into some internet issues in our top 4 match last week, so we are nervously anticipating hopefully a clean run through of this
Yeah,
match,
and every
guys.
time I was like, "Oh, the editing will be seamless," and then you were like, "Sorry for the cut, guys." In case you didn't notice, now you did.
Yeah. Just for the kids who are gonna say something regardless. So
Yeah,
I have
you
one
are
card in
beating me
hand that
up.
I've curved out well. I
Yep.
take you off of Essence Elf, which I think was just correct. A double Volcano Charger and or Volcano Charger Reap and Sow was not something I wanted to see this game. So, and I think doing that worked out because I think you had the Reap and Sow. So
Yeah, I did.
I wanted to be able to play.
Oof.
Well, maybe not Searing Wave here. Uh, I wonder what I held.
Searing Wave is great here because Searing Wave gets rid
Yeah.
of the Essence Elf and prevents me from cracking back with my own Bronze Arm and also keeps me off of Apocalypse Fights this turn.
No, you're still on
Oh wait, no, I
Apocalypse
am.
Fights. You can
Oops,
go
I
to you can go to
can't
7.
count.
Yeah.
Can't count.
But
And I have it,
I
so that's
think it's
probably the play.
yeah. Yeah, I didn't have the speed attacker in my hand this turn. Otherwise, that would have been the play for sure. But
Oh
I
yeah, I would
wonder
have
what the
died.
other card in my hand is. It might be Earth Stomp. Might actually be Earth Stomp.
Okay, I feel like Earth Stomp would be better there, though.
And I top the speed
Oh, it was
attacker.
Delacerna.
Oh, it's
Okay.
Delacerna.
Yeah,
Why
that
did I
makes
hold it
sense.
then?
Yeah, that's a good
Or maybe,
question.
yeah, that's a weird card to hold. Maybe
What
just
did
to.
you play in mana instead? Nothing?
No, I don't think I played mana that turn. Maybe I did. I don't know.
I don't know. That is probably arguably definitely the worst card in this matchup.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But like I understand that it doesn't really matter. You're probably keeping me guessing cuz like there's no way I'm breaking one of your shields that turn. So you'll always have the opportunity to play it in mana to play your 6 drop next turn and you never would have the opportunity to go to 7 next turn nor would you need to. So holding it, not holding
Yeah.
it, it's wacky, but like it's completely inconsequential, I think.
Yeah. I think that was the conversation. I think it was just because I topped Syrian Wave and just played it and didn't think that I needed to play mana in that same sense. But
I mean, I
it
honestly
was
think holding it is slightly better because, like, again, for the aforementioned reasons, you'll always get the chance to if you need to, and it does keep me guessing on whether or not your last card is a,
yeah,
a speed attacker or something.
yeah.
If I'm not
Whether or
scared
not
of
I
you,
was
that I might
that
play differently.
exactly, and that's what I'm saying. Whether or not I was actually thinking that the whole way through or not is questionable to say the least.
Yeah.
But if I was, good for me. Yeah. Keep CVH guessing. If I can get him to play just the wrong thing in mana, I'm doing all right.
Granted, when I'm up against Carl, I'm always gonna assume that he has exactly what he needs on curve. So, I mean,
That's for the best.
making reads is kind of not a thing that you need to do. You just always assume the absolute worst against Carl.
Yeah. Yeah. I have Gonten Bronze Arm Trap. I see it
Exactly.
early.
That's
So.
exactly what I'm talking about. See why? Why? Oh, there's bronze arm and mana. You have 2.
I have the Fire Mana and Pyro Fighter. I just don't know what else is in my hand.
Bronze Arm is definitely
Just
the
top
absolute best thing to play on 3, so hopefully you've got another one.
Yeah. Yeah, because I saw Soul Swap in my hand. So I
I mean, you would always put swap down to play a turn 3 bat, I think.
think so.
If you don't,
Think
I'll be pretty shocked because like turn 4 Earth Stomp against this deck where the only answer is on 7 mana is well, okay, Soul Swap is an answer for sure, but still. I still think the ramp is quite good. Cuz even then, like you could even play like Miraculous Rebirth a turn early to hit my on curve Misterios or Foul. Like there's so many reasons you would want to ramp, and you do have the Bronze Arm. So I think you're just deciding on
yeah.
what mana to play for it.
Yeah, I think I'm decided between just putting blue mana down because I think that's Holkus in hand. Um, maybe not.
You have
It's
swaps, so
luck.
I think Jigalzor down is fine.
Yeah, and I think that's the logic there is that Bronze Arm goes down, holding swap lets me swap
Oh
in
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Jigalzor next turn and
And you
hopefully
have
put
Pig
enough
for it
pressure on
too.
board.
You have Pig
Yeah.
swap. It's great. Great turn. Bronze Arm into Sky Sword is one of the good curves that this deck can have. We mentioned it against its Fire Nature Rush match. No
Yeah,
early
your goal
blocker
is
in
to get
Helix,
to
but still.
yeah, you need to see APOC here in the next turn or two, I believe, to have a good shot at coming back from whatever I put on board this turn. So
I didn't update the
um,
text. We're 1-1.
yeah, 1-1. Yeah, took a fast game too, that's for sure. Yeah, so Bronze Arm goes down. For Jigalzor, I play Holkus, which works out just swimmingly. And hopefully breaking 4 shields here.
Yep. That is what is happening unless for you got to, right?
I think so, because it
I
doesn't matter. Like, if you APOC, you're APOCing Jigalzor and Holkus regardless. So, like, whether or not you crack on it with Sky
yeah.
Sword is fine. And if you have APOC, you have APOC. Like, if your best play is just to swing at Holkus with Sky Sword, I'm in a good place.
Yeah. APOC
Like, I
is
think we're
probably the best here, but still doesn't feel amazing because I can't full clear. And I do have it in hand. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that could be remotely appealing to do. Double APOC is
yeah,
nice.
a couple of APOCs, yeah. You're in a good spot. I think you can keep yourself off of lethal on board, barring the speed attacker. But
I can't believe you're saying speed
yeah,
attacker now.
I know. I figured it out. I also nailed the civilizations at the front of this match. I don't know if you
You
heard
did.
that.
I'll add a cheer track.
There it is. Yeah. CVH with a master editing. God bless. Yeah, you're deep in this one. And for good reason. Like, this is tough because like this is definitely the what do you call it? I don't know why the word fulcrum comes to mind, but like this is like the turning point of this game. If you're gonna win this game, it's gonna probably come off of this turn. So making this play right, making the mana decision correctly, like you have a lot in your hand that can lean into what the next couple of turns will look like. And I think unfortunately Bomidius just has to go down in mana.
Yeah, which isn't wow, that autofocus, we really should remember to turn that off. Cause damn.
Yeah. Yeah, it
Um
keeps happening.
I don't know why it didn't happen when we were recording at my place. So it doesn't like your table for some reason.
Maybe not.
I think Polmedius down is okay. I'm pretty sure I either have swap in hand or I'm not concerned about being able to find one by the time I finally start attacking. Which won't be anytime
So
soon.
yeah. So I have Searing Wave in hand again. Not great. I think the idea is just to play
Nah.
multiple creatures and try to just set up for you not being able to deal with things. Unfortunately, I only have the one blue mana, which means I have to play one down to play the Hulkus.
Yeah, I
I
mean, you
can't
didn't
play
draw
both
another
creatures.
creature, but I still think this is better than Wave. Wave is only good if my creatures threaten to crack back on something,
Yeah, for sure.
or
For
have
sure.
blocker. It's good against Juliana's, but yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, playing the Hulkus here is just the move. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to play Hulkus and Emerald because of the blue mana screw there, but Um, I think I'm still in a good spot, or at least I'm feeling in a good spot. You know, when you see one APOC, you're never really assuming that the second one's going to follow it.
Yeah, I can't afford to foul it back and play it. Um, and that Gaunt is just so big that even if I had like a Volcano Charger, I still kind of have to waste a second Apocalypse Vice to stay alive here.
Yeah. Fortunately, you see Essence Elf, so that lets you kind of weave in some hopefully future plays if you make it out of next turn. Okay.
Let's see. I think it might
Yeah.
just turn into. Oh, I do have I have the volcano charger, but it's not quite good enough here. I have a swap in hand to eventually get back my Blomedius. I have Bazagazil to pick off things one at a time if I clear this turn. So I'm just trying to, I guess, this turn space things out and make sure I'm playing all the removal that I need to play and saving as much as I will need in the future if I don't immediately die. And
Yeah,
it's
seeing
unlikely that I'm dead because Jagalzor doesn't have speed attacker itself. One pyro's gone, and if you had a pyro, you would have played it last turn and killed me.
absolutely. So, and that's what leads me into. I think the play this turn, and again, it's tough to think about like what we were thinking in the moment because obviously we know each other's hands at this point, at just in the booth, if you will. So, like the obvious play here is to play Essence Self APOC, but like that's not to say like where your head was at, like what the space was at in the moment.
It's probably
So I
that, but
meant,
like mana's never really obvious, I don't think.
yeah, yeah. Fortress is tough here. I think Fortress and or the Logic Cube's probably not the correct mana choice here, but I think Fortress is going to be the more expendable piece of
Well, that's the thing
mana
too, right? Because
at the moment.
I want to burn you eventually to make your top decks worse, but I can't really rely on swapping out Fortress if I know I'm going to have to eventually swap out Blomedius.
Oh, you had Bronze Archer. Okay, I missed that.
Yeah. So we're doing okay. And I guess there was a
Yeah, yeah.
consideration too of like
Back
using
in it.
the swap, swapping out Sky Sword for itself, getting another shield, then Volcano charging the Hulkus, and just doing it that way and staying alive and saving Apocalypse Vice for next turn. That's probably the other play that I was thinking about. But I don't want to waste the
Yeah.
swap here. I think the swap is
Yeah.
more valuable.
Yeah, find Gaunt off the top. My hand is still Searing Wave and whatever card I drew off Hulkus last turn, which I'm not quite sure what that was. I haven't shown
Yeah, I'm
my
not
hand
sure
in a
either.
little while.
Show the
Yeah,
camera. Oh,
you're
so close, so close. Put the other one on top. If only we knew we could talk about it, because I'm just gonna take about a million years with this turn.
yeah, it's, like I said, you're deep in the tank. This is tough because I just continue to put you in uncomfortable situations. Gaunt
Yeah,
is a
Gaunt is
hard
so
card for
annoying,
Turbo
dude.
Burn to deal with. Yeah.
I just wanted something volcano chargeable so I could volcano charger and sky sword. I have another one in my hand. Um, like obviously Bazagazil is a clean answer, but it also takes my whole turn and doesn't really advance my ability to win the game. I could so the safest play that always keeps me alive is sky sword plus playing Bazagazil and mana and swapping it out if I have Bazagazil. But then I don't
Yeah.
ever really get the swap into Bull Medius. So I do have cube, right? So even if I don't have the swap, I could go Sky Sword cube swap. I have enough mana for all that with Elf.
Yeah. So yeah, and that looks like that's about to be the play. We're just making sure we get the mana correct.
It's-
Just an
oh
annoying
man.
part of this game. Yeah. All
Shield
right.
online. Love it.
Yep.
Tapping
Two
2.
for. Yep. And there it
Cubing.
is. All right.
Yep.
Q for swap. We're fixing our deck finally.
Oh yeah. No, it's I can Sky Sword, cube, swap. That's why it was taking me a while. I wanted to make sure I could do literally all of the things. Because I can just swap out a homie Bronze Arm tribe for Bazagazil and even start setting up the Bull Medius, and I just keep Elf around. So yeah,
Yep.
that was
Yep.
definitely the way to play that turn.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's super clean. Because I was, yeah, we had that conversation. I wasn't gonna say anything because I was like, maybe I'm just wrong, but I was very positive you still had swap from like 4 or 5 turns ago,
Oh, and
which you absolutely did.
I misplayed. I think I played cube
Did you?
after Sky Sword, right? Which is bad
No,
because
you
if
played. No, you played Sky Sword first.
no, that's bad because if I Sky Sword first, I might mill the swap into shields.
Oh my god. Yeah, that's tough.
No, right?
But
Yeah.
the mana. Yeah, I
I
guess.
didn't
Yeah, you're
cheat. I'm
right.
just saying like that's 2 shots that I might mill the swap.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. You don't want to bank on that ramp
Yeah.
first, but
Because I
yeah,
will I will
for
be able
sure.
to ramp either way. Cube only costs 2, so I should have cubed for the swap, played Sky
Yeah,
Sword, then double swapped.
yeah. Micro plays that may have mattered. Wow.
That would have been real upsetting.
We're back on that. I'm gonna surf for your Bombadius every time you play it, though. You guys
Yeah,
ready for that run back?
it's not super unexpected. You were holding a bunch of cards. Surf is one of those cards that
Yeah,
gets held a lot. But now I got to do the thing I talked about earlier, which is like waste an 8 cost turn on killing a surfer.
yeah.
So bronze arm is
Bronze
played.
arm comes down. Yeah, still holding two cards, Searing Wave and something else. And
I'm up to. I think you
I'd
actually only
almost.
have wave now, right? Or maybe I'm wrong.
I think I have a second card. I should. I'm thinking it's. I mean, it was probably the Surfer from last turn, or 2 turns ago, but I don't know what I'm holding at this point. Hopefully, another Surfer. That tends to be the case when you start playing Bomidius.
I'll trust you. I have a Reap and Sow, Cataclysmic Eruption, um, and of course the
Yeah,
dragons.
yeah. I think we're trying to get to a point, and the blocker helps. Shout outs to my dog in the top
Oh,
right
was he?
corner up
Oh,
there.
there he is.
Yeah,
Atari. Yep, and
he's
there's
chewing
Bomedius
on
coming down. I feel
everything he
mostly
can.
safe here. Um,
Yeah, blocker Bomidius is very safe. I can't do anything to bounce the Juliana or deal with the Juliana, so
you could
Searing
wave
Wave is
it,
going to have to be the play here.
but you
Yeah,
put it down.
and then no,
No, okay. You added another one. Never mind. Yep, all good.
so yeah, break the shield, and once again, somehow maintaining and keeping your back against the wall here. So I mean, all things considered, you can remove every creature on the board. Baza's still live. It's just what can you do to hopefully just maintain that. Like you said, what are you doing to like steer yourself to the end of this game? And
Yeah,
Baza doesn't necessarily do that. If you only play as Baza, kill whatever creature every turn. Baza hits
yeah.
mana.
I would
That's
really
something.
like to.
Probably means Foul's going to be a part of this play here in the next couple of turns.
Well, I see Volcano Charger Sky Sword, which I think is
Yeah,
a fantastic setup for 2 turn
yeah,
because no speed
yeah,
attacker off
for
the
sure.
top would kill me. Or I messed it up somehow, but I'll get it right, I
Yeah,
promise. It was a few
we're,
weeks ago, guys. I don't know
yeah,
exactly what order I'm trying to do things in, but clearly
yeah,
I can sometimes mess those up.
yeah. Order is everything here. So we're gonna make sure we get it right. But yeah, no, Belix Volcano Charger Sky Sword does set you up um to where yeah, for sure. Cause yeah, it doesn't matter what I top deck. I can't present lethal. So
True.
um so at least that gets you there. And I think that was part of that conversation of just what gets us there exactly. And it's I think part of it was trying to hold on to the Bazagazil.
Yeah, but I
Because
really
that
don't need it because I realize that Sky Sword is an
right.
attacker, so I can just win
Right, but
next
if
turn.
but if I can deal with the Sky Sword, I basically take you off a turn, and I think that was the conversation, is that
True,
that
true.
didn't matter.
I mean,
Yeah,
the worst
so
top deck that you could have for me right here is a Rebirth because that would deal with my Sky Sword and my blocker and put me back at 0 shields and give you 2 attackers.
well,
But
actually, it
barring
wouldn't
exactly that.
because we already saw the Windax
Oh, would
go
it?
into yeah, Windax went into
Oh, it's
mana or
true.
went
And a
into
shield
the graveyard
discard.
when I
Okay.
Searing Waved. Yeah, so
And your
I
version
see
of the deck
Surfer
doesn't
here.
play Corile or Bombat.
Correct. Yeah, so Bombat. Good lord, what a pull.
X Boom played it.
He sure did.
Yeah.
Yeah, Surfer. Yeah, Surfer's good. Try to take you off of another 2 turns,
The
force you
only
to deal
time
with my
surfers
board.
aren't in your shields are when I have Bolmedius on the board.
They're
It's
where they need to
completely
be. That's just
ridiculous.
how it is. Yeah, I swear, it's like you guys don't get it.
Nope. Never have, never will.
Swear to God, man. I am the worst. Yeah,
Oh,
so this is
man.
yeah. I've definitely got you. Got some interesting thing. You could just go for game here. Um,
Nope. No, Carl, no. No. Come on. I'm not going to
yeah.
do it.
So that's. I mean, shout outs to just having a million mana.
Jesus.
Spiral Gate.
Like,
Yeah.
it's not even
So.
good because you have nothing else going on, but it is so. It's just. The reason this video is already however many minutes long it is because of these spiral gates and surfers. Can you just
Absolutely.
let me win?
Tell me that's not just the correct play though.
I mean, it is. What else are you gonna do? Lose? You gotta,
Yeah,
you gotta
yeah.
do it.
We're getting there. You have oh my god, you had
I'm
13
killing
in.
bronze arm. Yeah,
Forgot
I
about
did.
that. Yeah. You kill
Yeah,
yeah, you smacked that bronze iron. You said, yeah.
absolutely. We're being
Yeah.
ultra safe.
And he finally gets there. Yeah. Not 4 turns after we'd mentioned it before, but you finally get there. And that is game 3. And yeah, Mana Burn taking the third match. So Mana Burn, or I say Mana Burn, Turbo Burn. Sorry, let me
Yeah,
get that right. Turbo Burn taking it 2-1 as we go into to game 4 here. So shout outs to a 5-game series. Turbo Burn making this a match, and one that I think at this point you and I sort of saw as unexpected. I really
yeah,
thought Tempo was going to have a easier time of it, for lack of a better way of saying it. And Turbo Burn making this a match. Thank God it's going to 5 games, because otherwise you guys would have a new season 2 winner at this moment. But
yeah. That's a good
Water
point.
Fire
If it was a
Nature's
best of
yeah,
3,
Water Fire Nature's still in it. So
yep. And
see
those
if
two
we can take
games that
game 4.
the 2 games that Turbo Burn won were pretty grindy. I spent a lot of time at 0 and 1 shields, which
Absolutely. Yeah.
would like to have more than that.
Yeah. I mean, game 1 definitely, I think, more suited your style. I don't think you were ever in a bad spot after you were able to deal with the Earth Stomp. But game 3, it definitely felt like it was touch and go there almost every turn up until the last 2 or 3.
Yeah, for sure. Especially with those surfers in hand this
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. 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 Fortunately, it was a spiral gate instead of the fourth surfer there towards the end, and I think that's what did it in. But with Water Fire Nature Tempo on the play, I have my fire mana. Can I find my Ganta?
Let's
First stomp
see.
goes down. It's a
Ooh,
pig.
it's a miss. Swing and a miss.
It's a pig. Pig's not bad, but I'm having war flashbacks from game 1, so we'll see if you have the essence elf to lean in. And
Juliana
it's
goes
no.
down.
So this is the first time we see you play the turn 2 Belix off of just not having to play. But um,
It's quite
if you have
nice.
if you have Logic Cube here, that Belix is going to be pretty fresh.
Yeah, or like just, if I just didn't happen to draw a Bronze Arm Tribe. I think Juliana went as mana because it was my only light card that I could play. I go with Bronze Arm anyway,
Yeah,
maybe? No, I have the cube, so
yeah,
maybe I do that. It's really tough, actually. Tough call.
yeah.
But I
We
have
had that
Bronze Arm and
conversation.
Sky Sword, but then when am I ever going to be able to crack back with Belix?
You're right, and I think that's a conversation, because like if if you can kill it here cleanly, which I think you can, you do it, right? Like, sure, the bronze arm's good ramp, but like that means Pig's gonna take at least one more shield. And yeah, on 4, I don't really have a way to deal with Belix still, but I
Well,
mean
I think
it's
I would say the ramp is probably a little more important
yeah,
personally. Because next turn I can just use Belix to block Hulka still, and then crack back if you attack. I still have the option. I just take a little bit more in the way of shields.
yeah, that's fair. I have
But
the
oh,
ramp.
yeah, oh, my hand is Sky Sword APOC. Okay, yeah, that makes
Yeah,
sense. I'm
yeah,
gunning for a
that's
turn 5 APOC.
for sure. Yeah, and my hand, I mean, I have the bronze arm tribe, so I get some ramp here. I'm trying to decide whether or not I'm gonna see green mana off of this bronze arm tribe, and I just opt against it. And I do, which is unfortunate because I could have played the second pig. But I lean into the fact that like Searing Wave is gonna be my play next turn. So even if you can clear a creature and pig, or just pig in general, I still get 2 more shield breaks next turn, which is the goal. So
Yeah. But Belix is doing its job in preventing you from breaking into extra shield with the Hulkus, so kind of
yeah,
nullifies the turn
absolutely.
3.
Yeah, Felix has kept me off of at least 2 shields now. So um, things
And if
are
you look at
things
it,
are
Sky
looking
Sword, Wave, APOC clears. I still have 1 shield left. Feels pretty good, if that is the
yeah.
way things go.
Well, you'll have 2 shields left if you Sky Sword here. Oh no, no, right? Because
Yeah.
yeah, because you can't bounce with the pig here. So,
Well, yeah, I
but
Sky
APOC will
Sword, you
still
wave and kill my blocker and break 3.
right. Yeah, I kept assuming that you're gonna clear that pig this turn somehow,
Yeah.
but it looks like looks like that might not be the case. So
But again,
I have
if you didn't
all the
have
mana I
wave, if it
need.
was like Sky Sword, then you play Rebirth or something. That could also be good.
Yeah, yeah. Rebirth. Interesting. Yeah, you opt off of
Okay, no, I
So
like this
that's
better than
yeah,
the Sky Sword
yeah,
because
that's a much
I'm
better play. Yeah,
less worried about wave and more worried about Earth Stomp or Jagalzor rather. Yeah, that's the one, Jagalzor.
yeah.
That is
So I
really
get
good.
to yeah, I top deck the Spiral Gate, with having Pyro and Searing in hand, so it still lets me clear all three shields and have Pyro. So now Apoc's not actually an out for you, which is pretty cool.
Yeah,
Um,
not for
so
me.
so yeah, so things worked out. So interesting to see if you had just
Wow.
played the Sky Sword last turn, how that might have gone, because I would have had to have Searing Wave that board for sure. But I still would have had Pyro, but you would have had one extra shield. So interesting what ifs there.
Yeah, I think yeah, it was definitely tough. I mean, Spiral Gate is by far I think the best card you could have had there to pair with that Pyro.
Oh,
So
yeah, absolutely. And
yeah,
topping it is, yeah, just again, perfectly on brand. So,
I do remember thinking that this game, a top deck was was very powerful against me. So now I'm remembering what that was. It was that moment.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
APOC is
Yeah,
no longer a thing that I can do to stay alive. I need double blocker and removal.
yeah, because yeah, I mean, look back at it too, because like if you had Sky Sorted, and again, not to get into the weeds with just how games could have gone, but I think people like this general discussion. But like, had you played Sky Sword, yes, I would have had three creatures to attack, but I would have had to have Searing Waved because playing the Pyro there wasn't possible because you took me, or no, because you didn't take me off of Fire Mana because of the yeah. So okay, so I think things were still bad for you either way because you wouldn't have you wouldn't have Reap and Sowed. You would have played Sky Sword instead. So
Yeah. And I think my logic with the Reap and Sow was like, if you play a Jagalzor, the Apocalypse Vice next turn is no longer good enough to keep me alive.
yeah,
So I needed to try to set up for that while keeping you off of your plays.
yeah. So you bank on having a shield trigger here,
Yeah,
and
there's two swaps, and it
that's
has to be one of them.
yeah. So once again, Archidel Lacerna shows up at just a time where it's not necessarily needed, but I also just don't. Yeah, it doesn't matter. So shout
Yep.
outs to that continuing to be a theme. Pyro goes in, which breaks, and yeah, no shield trigger means Holkus and Bronze Arm make it through. So
Tough
for a
one. I
very
mean,
decisive, yeah, game four. So
that
two and
was a
two.
fun game because both of us drew really, really well. I'm not
Yeah,
actually
yeah,
meaning. I mean, obviously, your top deck wound up being just a little too good with the Spiral Gate, but before that, like you had the two, the three, everything going on. I had the Belix Bronze Arm Sky Sword APOC line, which turned into the Belix Bronze Arm Reap and Sow APOC line, which just couldn't be
yeah.
played because of the
It's
aggro pyro.
yeah. Like I said, man, I alternate universe, right? Like you had two plays there that were either or. I think within all of that, and I think it'd be interesting to go back and see which of those plays had you gone the other direction. Because I think the first one where Felix just swings over and you logic cube for something, I think you're right. I think Bronze Arm into Sky Sword getting to Apoc sooner was correct. Was just always going to be the correct play.
That's
But
the thing, right? I mean, the odds that you
right,
have
yeah,
Jagalzor are much, or Jagalzor or Rebirth are much,
right.
much higher than if you have Pyro Spiral
Right.
Gate. So yeah,
Because
like I would have done better with the other one.
regardless, yeah, regardless you're going down to three shields. Like it's the difference between three and two shields. It's not that crazy, but the turn following that, it's interesting to see if you had just sky sorted instead
Oh
and
yeah,
leaned on that Belix for another turn. Um if they
I have two thoughts. I believe I would have been in a much better spot with Sky Sword. Might have even potentially got lucky and had to win the game. But if
yeah.
I could go back in time, I did the exact same thing. I think odds are my plays better more often than not.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I agree. So, Rebirth sees mana first turn for me, Baza for you. Um, and yeah, off to a slow start for you. Thankfully, you're on the play.
Yeah,
So
no elf action. Or maybe I have elf and
yeah,
I didn't have nature mana and reap and so as my top deck because usually that would probably go down first. Maybe I just have a bronze arm tribe though. I think I have a Yuliana, but do
yeah,
I have light? And is it even good
yeah,
against Ganta?
yeah. I was upset here because I think that bronze arm had to go down, or I might have the second one. I'm not sure, but I know having to put one down to play that Ganta was not necessarily what I wanted to do, and I held Searing Wave because multiple blockers here over the course of the next 2 turns was not something I wanted to deal with. But I think I have Pyro here. I think that's the play because Lucky Ball's in my hand.
That's
That or
interesting.
I drew the other.
I think Essence Elf was my only nature mana, and then turn 2 I drew Reap and Sow, and then turn 3 I drew another elf. So that's why it looks like I like messed up my mana, because I just top decked them in the wrong order. So technically this could be a double
Oh,
elf board right now if I had the Reap and Sow to start.
yeah. Oh yeah, because I think I remember you and I having that discussion after this game was all over. That's kind of where you were at with that opening. But yeah, so I topped Bronze Arm and then Holkus drew me another Bronze Arm, and I was at that crucial whether I play Bronze Arm this turn or play Holkus. And I leaned on Holkus instead, just having something slightly bigger than Essence Elf to play. Um,
Yeah.
because I know I'm going to get to Lucky Ball over the course of the next 2 turns. And I'd rather let Bronze Arm Tribe build mana and potentially let me play another 2 drop next turn. So,
You mean like go to mana? Yeah.
yeah. That being said, had I played Bronze Arm Tribe last turn, I could be playing Searing Wave this turn, and
I
that
am
might just be better.
I am usually of the mindset that Bronze Arm is by far the best thing you can do on turn 3. Because like you didn't really need it to be bigger than Essence Elf right now.
Yeah. Yeah, and I whiff on the mana there, which is unfortunate. But now you have double Essence Elf, so things might start.
But hey, I mean,
things are.
if we're being picky about it, if you'd played Bronze Arm last turn, you would have had 100% to have the mana you need because you would have just
Yeah,
played it.
yep, you're right.
But here we
You're right.
are. Sky Sword. Oh, this was a critical turn too, I think, because I might have had a play along with that, but Reap and Sow comes down from the Sky Sword, so I can't play.
You can't play the volcano charger. I
Yeah, if
think.
I
I
have
think
a
that's the one
Volcano
you mean.
Charger in
Yeah.
my hands. Yeah, I think that's exactly why I'm
Yeah.
aggressively shuffling my hand upsettingly.
Yeah. You and I go back to back on off the top multi sieves.
Yeah,
So yeah,
the bricking
right
is
there
real.
again. Yeah, Lucky Ball's still in hand. I opt not to play mana this turn. Lucky Ball is a card in my hand, and I think Spiral Gate and it looks like third card.
Yeah, there's a third, but I don't know what it is.
Yeah, me either. There it is.
So
Pyro. It's Pyro. It's Pyro. Okay.
yeah. No,
So
I like holding there. Probably the only thing that playing mana would have done is give you the option to go Lucky Ball Pyro next turn.
yeah, which I don't know that that's necessary. Yeah, Spiral Pyro is definitely kind of what I was
That
banking
said,
on
though, I
if you
mean
try to
like
set up anything defensive, or
Spiral
even
Gate's
just try to.
okay, but like there aren't
Yeah,
many things that I could play this turn where you would need to Spiral Gate it.
yeah, for sure. So I think the play here is to just maybe. God, it's tough because I want to hold everything, but I just topped Jigalzor. So I think the weakest card in my hand is actually the Spiral Gate,
Yeah, it
and
is.
either play the Jigalzor or just play the Lucky Ball and hope to find a 2 drop. So,
You put the Jigalzor
which
in mana.
sure did.
You have 2 Pyros in
Yeah,
hand now.
I do. I do. I remember that being critical here in a few turns.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
yeah, I
again,
was
see, if it
thinking.
were me, I think just jamming the Jigalzor is solid because I don't have removal. Like, if I had not been mana screwed by the Reap and Sow, I could have Volcano Charger, not had the APOC last turn, then I'd have APOC for Jigalzor, but I just had to burn an APOC on Ganta and Bronze Arm, which doesn't
Yeah.
feel amazing. So the
Well,
odds
I
that
think the
Jigalzor
logic.
stuck are very
Yeah.
high.
Well, it's the same odds for Lucky Ball, right? Anything over 2,000 power is going to stick on board unless you have APOC.
Yeah, but
So,
Jigalzor already
like,
double breaks, and the idea of Lucky Ball is that you find a
yeah,
second creature to double break. Jigalzor just
yeah,
does
for
it.
sure, for sure. And I think what I was banking on is like if you have creature slash blocker holding the Spiral Gate is valuable here. I'm still able to do the speed attacker next turn, and I can kind of slow play it since the board's empty.
Oh no, I like holding
However,
gate.
yeah. However, this turn, yeah, because the other option was just playing Lucky Ball down and playing Jigalzor, which in that same vein is not great for me. But you take me off of blue mana, which is cool.
Yeah.
Oh,
And most importantly, you can't play Jigalzor this turn
yeah,
if you had it. which I
Hold on
still
one
think.
second. I'm gonna mute my mic. Keep talking.
Okay, I'm gonna take this. Man, we're on game 5. Sparks are flying. Carl's at 5 mana. And what is he gonna play? Let's find
Sparks are
out.
flying. I'm back.
Huh? Sparks are flying. Yeah, you have the wave, which you're kind of reluctant to play down. I don't know if it's getting much better ever. Um,
Yeah.
you're just 1 mana off of being able to threaten lethal here.
Yeah, it's tough because I think that's the play, right? I should play mana, and even if I don't have the 2-drop, just take you off of both shields.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
how is that bad? Like,
because this is a deck without discard, so like I'm gonna need multiple blockers, of which the deck only runs 4, and Sky Swords, of which the deck, runs 3, but still, like, Sky Sword is not a solution. It's just
yeah,
a way to get me another turn. And my
yeah.
hand, as
And
you can
your
see, is
hand
Bombazar and just removal for things that you can play on board.
swap out Lucky Ball. Oh, yeah.
I
Okay.
like that.
I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like this too because like it basically presents as long as I don't hit swap this shield, it presents a creature that you can't kill with Fortress Shell. So, um, yeah, yeah, that's fresh. I can see why I thought about that for a turn or two because the other option was just to play Hero and just let it sit.
And here we are. I mean, hopefully I got something good from the shields or from the top of my deck, because while I can answer Jigauser with APOC, that doesn't help me against the Pyrofighter.
Yeah, you're gonna need Felix and APOC essentially to at least feign victor or feign not losing next turn, but the double
Looks like I
pyro
have
in
him.
hand, which you haven't seen yet. Yeah, double
Yeah, and you
pyro
already
is
have the fire
not
mana
bad for
too.
you. Yeah,
So we can see from the hands that there are currently no outs in my deck with this amount of mana. Well, I mean, I guess like 3 blockers, but no, because you could just Searing Wave at that point.
yeah.
So I'm going to
So
APOC and I'm going to Belix back something. I'm going to think about this for a while to make sure I make the right decision, because I do not know that I am dead.
yeah. So I feel good about it. I finally Searing Wave finally sees mana, and there they are. So
Wow, coming
and
back from
that's
a
it, guys.
1-2.
Coming back from a 1-2. Fire Nate. Oh my god, look at this shield. Oh
Disgusting.
man.
It's because I didn't
Oh
play the
man.
Bolmedius. If I had had the time, Carl, to play that Bolmedius, you would have done your magic and they would have just become cards in your hand. The surface.
Yeah. Yeah. Guys, that's it. Fire. Or God, I'm already screwing it up. I'm so excited. Water Fire Nature Tempo is your season 2 bracket tournament champion. Taking the match 3-2 over Light Fire Nature Turbo Burn.
Should have
Hope you
done
guys
best of
enjoyed.
3.
Should have done
No.
best of
No,
3.
it's
It's a
fine.
shame for Turbo Burn,
Shame.
but hopefully you guys enjoyed. I think this I thought it was a blast. I had a great time.
Yeah, we were talking that was you mentioned that might be one of the best matches we'd ever got on camera.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, definitely the best kind of back and forth. Sure, I think the two games there in game 2 and 4 very much showcased tempo doing tempo things and just what it looks like when that deck curves out very well. But I don't think Turbo Burn was ever out of it, which, for a best of 5, that's what you want to see, right? You want to see it go 5 games. You and I were talking about it afterwards that we're glad it went 5 games because I think it showcased both the decks very well. Showed off what they're both capable of and why they both deserve to be in finals in season two's bracket tournament. So
Yeah.
we have 2 champions for you now. Season 1 was the Forcive Mana Burn, and season 2 taking its rightful place at the top, uh, Water Fire Nature Tempo. So, guys, thank you so much. This has been a blast. CVH
Carl,
and
are we
I
doing
will be.
season 3?
Oh my God, we are doing season 3. But I will get to that in a moment. You cut
Okay.
me off.
Well, you didn't tell
Oh
me how you
man,
were gonna do this.
I didn't. I didn't know I was doing it until we got here. But yes, so here in the coming weeks, CVH and I will probably be taking a week or so off of content as we gear up for season 3. Play-in tournament will be back. It's going to be a big one, but we will have a post for that coming soon. Probably about a week from now, we'll post kind of the decks that we're putting in season three, and then what the play-in structure is going to look like as we kind of figure out and fine tune some of the final pieces of that. Otherwise, here in the next couple of days, probably at some point this weekend, CVH will be going. CVH and I should be going live. Stay tuned to the community page. We'll post an update within 24 hours of when we are planning to go live. Um, oh, sorry, I thought someone was talking in the background. And from there, yeah, we'll go live. We'll announce winners for the season two bracket tournament. Hopefully, all of you guessed that Tempo was going to win because it did. So for everybody who guessed Tempo, you will be entered into a raffle for some more giveaways, which we announced earlier in the week. So stay tuned for that live update as we go live to just talk about season two, our overall thoughts, and what we're getting ready for. And I think that covers most of the bases.
I think so. I don't know what you got going on. I'm just here to record.
Absolutely. It's all just gears turning. Everybody's along for the ride. But yeah, guys, thanks so much. This has been an absolute blast. We've now made it through two full seasons of bracket tournaments as we gear up for our biggest bracket tournament yet in season three. Stay tuned, guys. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
And until next time, as always, peach.
Each.